Hello, I'm Tyler Field, Vice President of Wine and Spirits for Morton's The Steakhouse. I am very privileged to be sitting at my most favorite bar whenever I go to the Napa Valley, Mustard's Grill. And I'm very happy to be joined here today from the General Manager and Partner, Mr. Patrick Kelleher. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
Sure.
And what we're trying to accomplish today is you go into a wonderful wine bar like this, or you're coming into Morton's, and there's 27 wines on the list. There's a list of 500 wines. What do you order if you're not quite sure? So one of the things I've always enjoyed about Mustards when I've come to Napa, and I hope you enjoy it when you come here, is that they have a very diverse list and they have a very talented group of individuals that does tend bar here. But I just thought we'd give you a few tips of how to look for a wine that you're going to like when you come into a restaurant. You can do something here that nobody else in the country can do, really, because you're so close to the environment that you can give them a story and something very special, and to try something that they might have never tried before and wouldn't be able to in Portland, Oregon, or West Palm Beach, Florida, or, etc., because you have relationships with all the great wineries.
We've got relationships. They're our guests, they're our neighbors, they're our friends, they're our family in some regards.
Right.
And this is a special place, Mustards, and I think they want to be here. It's a sense of we all kind of came up together. This was the real first restaurant of note in the Valley.
In Napa Valley.
And the wine list kind of followed that trend. As all these wineries started to get bigger and more well known, they're still little guys to us, and we're still little guys to them.
But that was the community 20 years ago.
That was the community 20 years ago. So now we're all here together, and you kind of come to this epicenter, which is Mustards, which is completely democratic. Everybody's welcome. Winery boots are suit and tie, and these guys are bringing their wares to sell here.
So, is there anything from a restaurateur to a restaurateur that a guest could ask as an opening question to make sure they're going to get the right deal?
Sure. I think that guests take a look at the list. If you have that ability, and say tell me about, we'll stay in the show, or we'll go to the Cabernets. Tell me about the Franciscan Cabernet.
Right.
Or tell me about your 27 wines for $27 for 27 years. You can you can lead that staff member to where you want to go. Okay. Without saying, hey, I don't want to spend a ton of money on the wine. Right. But also as servers and service staff, if we really care about you, we want to know. Right. Is this a celebration? Is this a quick business lunch? Is are you on vacation? All those types of things that we know that either it's a celebration or this is an everyday occurrence will lead us to where we want to take the guest and where the guest wants to go. And also flavor profile questions. Right.
And what food they're ordering.
Absolutely.
I mean, that has a lot to do with it.
Of course.
The last question I want to ask you is, you have something in here called flights, which are very popular, and we know them to be 2, 3, 4, depending on the restaurant you're going to, of different wines. Smaller portions. What are they popular? Is it something that our guests should look for when they go to restaurants?
Absolutely. I think a flight is a really good way to sample either across a single varietal or tasting maybe components of a Bordeaux, essentially, or anything, where you can get little taste and kind of work through your meal, and pretty much maybe that's all you're going to drink, instead of ordering a bottle of wine.
If you want to experiment, this is probably the way to go. I would think.
Absolutely, because when I teach a wine class here, and I'm teaching some of the younger guys how to taste wine, the first thing I'll tell them is, go to a supermarket, go to the produce department, smell things, get different wines, and find out what you do and don't like with food. And this, I think, does it in a snapshot, because you've got 3 different styles of the same type of wine, basically. And does that work with my calamari? That one does. This one doesn't. This one really does. Right. That one I want to sit and drink on my front porch. These 2 I need food with. And that's kind of fun to know. And I think it educates the consumer.
Fantastic. Patrick, thank you so much for your time to spend with us today. And
my absolute pleasure.
I'll be back over and over again. I know you're a busy man, but again, we really appreciate it. So from the Napa Valley, from Mustard's Grill, salut.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Yeah, you got the drink.